It's an Arizona sunrise, alright. Just one of the many reasons why I want to buy some land in this beautiful state. But first, breakfast.
Yum.
Why would I ever want to buy land in Arizona? It's all desert, right? Wrong! Join us on our quest for Pelicamp West. We'll begin at the Show Low area, very close to the Painted Desert and the Petrified Forest. Then we'll get our kicks on Route 66 until we get to Williams and the Grand Canyon Junction. We'll even visit the Grand Canyon because why not? Finally, we'll continue west to a town called Golden Valley, very close to Kingman, also on Route 66. Will we finally find our idyllic piece of high desert? You're gonna have to stick around if you wanna find out. I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be. 'Cause I'm free in my RV, yeah. We begin today's adventure on the Mother Road, Route 66, in Holbrook, Arizona. And the idea is to drive south and meet up with some friends who have bought land in the area, so we can get the lay of the land, if you will, and hopefully find something. The idea is to explore the area around Snowflake and just northeast of Show Low. This first part is very much desert and pretty flat, but it'll get more scenic the further south we go. Now approaching Snowflake, but we're gonna go down to Show Low first. As we approach Show Low and the White Mountains, there's a lot more vegetation, and I like that. Here's where I'm going to meet Anthony, who is going to give us a tour of the area, and it looks like they just had a fresh dusting of snow. Apparently, this is the back entrance to the neighborhood, through this very well-maintained dirt road. All the properties look kind of similar. Most are acre lots with lots of juniper trees. Some even have a view of the White Mountains. Road conditions? Generally good, but don't trust Google Maps. Some roads do not exist. An acre of raw land around here runs anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 as of 2024. Although at this point in the search, I still want a little more than just 1 acre. But we'll see. And yes, this is the general area where lots of people, including some famous YouTubers, have bought RV properties. Let's go up to Snowflake and meet up with Mark. And here's one that might be interesting. 40 acres for about 40 grand. Beautiful property, so much potential, and more land than I would know what to do with. I mean, privacy. This one would be perfect, except for one thing. Wanna know what's wrong? This road. I don't know if I wanna tow the trailer through here, which is quite a shame because I really fell in love with the property. Besides, Mark would be our neighbor. I think this time around the Show Low Snowflake area has been a fail. Show Low is a lovely town, but we're still kind of far away from the interstate. And as I say, more research shall go into this. Now tomorrow we're going to Petrified Forest National Park, and perhaps we'll explore the area a little more. Maybe we'll find something. Now, since Holbrook is a Route 66 town, let's drive around and look for the famous Wigwam Motel. The Wigwam actually used to be a hotel chain built in the 1930s and 1940s, and they originally had 7 locations, of which only 2 remain, both on Route 66. Very cool rooms, constructed to resemble teepees. I like how they have all these antique cars parked in front of the teepees, also known as wigwams, embracing the history of the place. There's the truck from the movie Cars, or a similar one anyways. Well, apparently the wigwam inspired the Cozy Comb Motel in the aforementioned movie. Cool! We came to eat at this place called Bienvenidos.
And the burrito. That was really good, actually, better than expected. See you tomorrow.
It's a brand new day, and today we're going to Petrified Forest. But you already saw all that in the previous video, and if you didn't, here's a link. It is one not to be missed if you are in the area. I mean, the variety of scenery and things to see is incredible. Highly recommended. Right now we're gonna head back south, get another look, stop by Sholo. I was actually hoping to find something in this area, and we still may do, but my expectations didn't really match reality. I wasn't expecting for the roads to deteriorate so much once you get off the beaten path, which happens to be where the larger plots of land are. Still, I want to make sure we're making the right decision before moving on to another area. It looks like the town of Concho here has seen better days. Up until now, the pluses of this area. Many properties have beautiful views of the White Mountains. And nearby Sholo is a nice town with lots of history, good restaurants and shopping, beautiful area. Cons? It's not really near any major routes. I mean, you could argue that US 60 is a major route, but I'm talking I-10, I-40, and ultimately it has to feel right. And nothing has screamed at us, buy me, so we're going to keep looking, and who knows, we might revisit the area at some point. It would have been cool to be neighbors with Camper Van Kevin, Nomadic Fanatic, not to mention our friends Anthony or Mark, but this was not the time. Now let's go into town for late lunch because we're hungry. We're going to eat at Buffalo Bill's Tavern. It seems to be highly rated. Tavern and museum. Here we have good old Cody, and the tavern is actually very nice and appropriately decorated. We're going to start with some Paso Robles wine, as you do, some burnt ends with blue cheese, and the supreme pizza. Very cool place, and a great way to celebrate the first step in our journey to have a piece of Arizona. I guess this is the museum part. Now back to Holbrook because tomorrow we continue west. Well, good morning. I really hope the sun comes out today at some point because it's chilly. It's in the 30s and everything looks better when the sun's out. In any case, I wouldn't call our property search mission in this area a failure,
But I'm not gonna call it a success either, because we didn't find anything that, you know, screamed buy me. At least now we have a better idea of the lay of the land, and you know what kind of areas we might be interested in. But now we're going to scout another area near Williams, Arizona, and along the way we might be standing on a corner in Winslow, and there's a crater lake, like a meteor crater that we might want to take a look at. So I'm gonna unplug the power and off we go. I'm looking for a particular corner in Winslow, Arizona. Here we go. 34 minutes. It is cold there this morning. Here this morning. Ooh. And by the way, even if our property search was not an entire success, I want to thank Anthony and Mark, because their help was invaluable in this quest for Pelicamp West. And who knows? Maybe someday we'll find something around this area. But right now we're moving a little farther west. Enjoy the ride, and hopefully the sun will come out and start warming up this frigid desert. By the way, lots of overnight activity here at this KOA, lots of Cruise Americas. Yeah.
That is amazing. Check out that view of the San Francisco peaks, and we're only getting closer.
Driving to the west, into the sunset, driving to the west. Driving to the west, into the sunset, driving to the west. Driving to the west, into the sunset, driving to the west. Driving to the west, into the sunset, driving to the west. Driving to the west.
Well, we just drove past one of the most famous intersections in Arizona. So let me attempt to parallel park and let's check it out.
Isn't that like the greatest parking spot ever? Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but we are standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. And there's a flatbed Ford back there. Let's go check it out. US Route 66.
Yeah, that Eagles song definitely put this town on the map.
Yeah, tell you what, I'm just gonna take it easy. Is it a Ford? Yeah, it is a Ford, of course. The girl is no longer here though. Well, yeah.
Oh, I see what they did. It is supposed to be like a reflection on the glass window.
Oh, someone put a Buc-ee's sticker on the truck. Maybe I should bring one of my stickers and put it on the truck too. The flatbed Ford. And of course, yeah, it's there's Eagles music in all the stores here in the four corners, at least on those two corners. And yeah, this is, as I said, I was here back in 2018 actually. That was my first time here, and just so you can see that this is really Route 66. I'm just gonna risk getting run over here to walk over the sign that says historic Route 66. They're playing music in the store, so we're not gonna go in there, but they even have like a guitar here, and yeah, the town's milking the song for all it's worth, that's for sure. Alright, I think this is all we're gonna do here. Maybe I'll buy a souvenir and keep on going west, actually, driving to the west. Isn't that like the best parking spot ever?
Saying goodbye once again to Winslow, Arizona. Till we return. we're driving to the west, let's stop at a couple more Route 66 roadside attractions, shall we? Here coming up is one of those roadside attractions. What's left of it? Meteor City Trading Post.
Well, yeah, this is all that remains of this old Route 66 attraction. I was here 5 years ago, by the way, and it looks exactly the same. It seems like there's some signs saying that they may be remodeling it. I mean, at least last time the Dreamcatcher was still kind of standing up back there. Not anymore. Let's take a peek. You know, there's signs saying no trespassing everywhere, but yeah, I doubt this is gonna be remodeled anytime soon. Now let's continue to another ghost town here on the old Mother Road. One where I almost had an incident.
I'm glad they have the dead end sign because that is the actual Route 66 right there. What remains. It is equally cool as it is sad to see all these decaying Route 66 structures, which kind of have become attractions just because of the fact that they are in ruins. And there's no real reason for that. Route 66 may not exist anymore, but I-40 is still going through here. Anyway, onward. Next up, the Meteor Crater.
Let's go see the crater.
Here they have an Apollo test capsule. Oh, wait till you see the view out that window. It almost looks like a painting, like it is not really there. There are several viewpoints, but we're only going to see a couple of them. They also have guided tours, by the way. Let's get a little higher. Actually, I am almost more impressed by this view of the San Francisco peaks off in the distance. Still a good 40 miles away.
Well, this, of course, the famous Meteor Crater. It's supposed to be a must-visit attraction here. If you're doing, particularly if you're doing Route 66, right? And yeah, as you can see, it is impressive.
When I came here back in 2018, I wasn't all that impressed, especially for the $30 cover charge. But in hindsight, yeah, it is impressive.
The largest fragment of the meteor that created the Meteor Crater.
Let's continue. Driving to the west on Interstate 40.
Driving to the west. 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 Driving through the west. Driving to the west. Driving to the west. Driving to the west.
hotel. That used to be a KOA. Well, this is another place I visited back in 2018 when I was here for the first time, the first cross-country road trip. This is the Two Guns ghost town. There's a cave down there that at some point I want to visit, and there's quite a few ruins to visit here, but that looks like the remains of a KOA back there, and this was obviously a gas station at some point. But I want to show you the spot. If you've watched that video, I just wanted to reminisce and tell you what not to do. We're right off I-40 here, and of course beautiful view of the San Francisco peaks. They're ever present. But if you walk here a little farther, closer to I-40, that would be historic Route 66, the actual Route 66. And if you look at it on a map, it looks like Route, should be careful here with the cattle guard, almost like a human guard. It starts here, it looks like a regular road, then becomes a dirt road, but what you don't know, and you're standing between two wire fences, and the road becomes progressively worse. And by the time you've been on a quarter mile on it, I mean, if you have a 4x4 truck, you may be able to do it, but not towing a trailer. So don't do what I did. But from here, from this spot, it doesn't look that bad, but it does get really bad. And I was able to make like a 10-point turn and get back to safety. But yeah, I'll put a link to my Route 66 incident right here.
Actually, how about a flashback? I had the great idea to try to continue on Route 66. It looked like a normal road on Google Maps, and since I was trying to save data, I neglected to check the satellite map. Yeah, big mistake.
Well, this is what remains of old Route 66. Not very well maintained these days. We're running almost parallel to I-40.
At the beginning, it actually looked like a relatively well-maintained dirt road, so I kept going. Soon, it became evident I had made a mistake, as the road became virtually non-existent. And since it had fences on both sides, there was no room to make a U-turn. Trust me, I did try, but no, couldn't make it. I also tried driving backwards, but I had driven too long a distance. It would have been extremely difficult to make it back. I was really in a pinch here. I was getting desperate at this point, so I decided to try something radical, like backing into one of the fences until I actually pushed it a little bit, and then back and forth again and again, patiently. Eventually, I was able to make that U-turn and return back to safety. Let's make sure Minitini is still in one piece though.
Okay, let's not do that again.
There's the Twin Arrows Navajo Casino Resort. And here's the Twin Arrows Ghost Town. Only one of the two arrows remains. Back in 2018, there were still two. We are now approaching Flagstaff, elevation 7,000 feet. Notice the change in vegetation here? There's even snow on the ground. The area we're going next is also home to a famous YouTuber, Ozja, also known as Pandemonium, and the tribe. I don't really know anybody in the area that is actually in the area right now, so we're just going to explore on our own after we get settled at a very special campground. And here's where we get off the interstate and go north towards the Grand Canyon. I think that might be the Grand Canyon in the distance. That's the Red Butte for sure. Well, welcome to Valle, Arizona, spelled V-A-L-L-E, as you would in Spanish, so I'm super tempted to call it Valle, as you would in Spanish, but I've been reliably informed it is Valle. We're going to be staying at the old Flintstones RV park, nowadays Birds of Prey. And I think at some point they had like a bird show or something like that, but not anymore, I don't think. I've always wanted to stay here. It is very windy. Let's walk around a little bit. Which, by the way, if you're staying at the RV park, admission is free, otherwise it is like $10. Here they have all these dinosaurs. Oh, check these guys out. That's so funny. I'm sorry about the music and voiceover, but the on-camera audio is just unusable. Pure wind noise. Oh, these guys are funny too. You know, some animals, they just have a funny face. Alright, let's explore Bedrock City. Flats fixed. This must be the tire shop.
Pebbles and Bam Bam.
It is all very well made, actually. Here's the grocery store. Cool. I like all the attention to detail. Whoever did this is definitely a fan.
I guess this is the beauty salon on this side, and the barber shop on this other side. Home sweet home. Well, that was creepy. no, the dentist. Excuse me. It's a dino drill.
Let's check out the Bedrock City Jail.
Hello, yes? Long distance call? To Bedrock City? To Cuba? Oh no, never mind. Bye.
We could linger here forever, but if we do that, we won't find any land, ever. Besides, we're like 45 minutes from the South Rim, so the temptation to visit the Grand Canyon is just too high. First, let's see what the neighborhood looks like, and then we're going to look at a couple of larger properties I found on Zillow. A couple of 10-acre properties for about 45 grand each. So far, reasonably well-maintained paved road. I mean, we're starting to see some rather large potholes, so it is what it is, right? I just love those views of the San Francisco peaks, and I wonder what these are. Road conditions are getting a little worse, but still doable. Love the views, but this road is becoming quite an adventure and probably impassable when wet. That's the one thing that has surprised me the most about finding land in Arizona. Once you get out of the beaten path, the roads really become hit or miss. Some of them high clearance 4-wheel drive trails. Here it is. This one on the left is one of those 10-acre lots. Let me tell you, I don't dislike it. I mean, if it wasn't for that road coming in. If I'm going to build something permanent, it would probably be fine, but to be dragging the RV on those roads constantly, I don't know about that. Over here, we're on the high ground, and looking southeast, that would be the view out our window. Let me tell you, very tempting. We have a tiny juniper here. Let's explore a little more. Actually, let's swing by the more populated areas. I don't know exactly where Asha's place is, but it would be cool to find it. Some places are kind of run down, some are normal. Then you stumble upon someone building a very nice house. As you've seen, and that is usually the case at places with lots of freedom like this one, some properties are very well maintained, some not so much, which is totally fine. The area looks kind of promising, but I'm not gonna pull the trigger before talking to a local first and maybe getting their insights. Let's go to the Grand Canyon, which may be the highest appeal of this area. Location. Yeah, proximity to the Grand Canyon, close to Williams, which is a lovely town, and I-40. Flagstaff is just under an hour away, 90 minutes to Sedona, and beautiful mountain views. Cons? Road conditions, really. I've heard crime could be an issue, and it seems to be a little more run down than the Show Low Snowflake area. That's about it. Another thing, just like Show Low, this is high desert. We're at 6,000 feet. So this would be more of a summer property, since it doesn't get as hot here as in other parts of Arizona, and it always cools down at night. Winters are cold and snowy though. Valle, Arizona, we might revisit, and with all that talking, I didn't realize we're already here. There's always someone asking a gazillion questions. I keep saying it. there's gotta be a way to expedite this process, at least for the annual pass holders. Mother Point is probably our favorite spot on the south rim. I believe it is where the canyon is the widest. And it was our first time here almost 20 years ago. But today we're going to the village, where the hotels are. I've always wanted to see El Tovar. It is our lucky day.
Greetings from the Grand Canyon. I know it never gets old, and I wish I could convey on video, what it really feels like to be here. The feeling of depth, the grandeur, to think, that the Bright Angel Canyon down there, that's miles away. The North Rim is like 10 miles away or more. It's like 1 mile to the river down there, to the bottom of the canyon floor. Yeah. I wasn't gonna come here on this trip, but we're like so close, 40 minutes, we had to do it. It's bitterly cold. We're gonna see if we can get something to eat and then maybe see the sunset if the sun ever comes out. Yeah, I love it.
Unfortunately, we are not catching the Grand Canyon at its best today. I mean, our eyes can see it, but it being cloudy and a little hazy, the camera doesn't really capture it. Maybe the sun will come out later. Ooh, check it out! Wildlife! Let's go to El Tovar. I've always wanted to eat there, as I said, but I think today we're just gonna go to the lounge because we couldn't get a reservation. Ooh, it would have been nice to get that window table.
It's a lobster roll.
And now the sun came out, and we get to see the Grand Canyon in all its glory. Of course, nothing compares to the experience of actually being here. Let's walk along the rim, towards the Bright Angel Lodge. This is it, the Bright Angel. We stayed here about 10 years ago and visited almost 20 years ago on our first time, which actually we were on an airplane tour from Las Vegas, which is a pretty good way to visit the Grand Canyon for the first time.
Oh, wait till you see this view.
There it is, El Tovar, where we were. Here's the lookout. The building dates back to 1915, designed by Mary Coulter. Ooh, what a view. so beautiful to see the colors gradually change as the sun gets closer to the horizon. It's time to go! We have a wildlife jam. Elk, I believe. How majestic. We have one final area where we want to look for land, and I have a feeling third time might be the charm. This one would be more of a winter property since it is going to be 3,000 feet or so in elevation, so it can get very hot in summer. We're going to Golden Valley, just west of Kingman. It is only a little over 2 hours from here. We're meeting up with John and Mary, who I met originally during my 2019 road trip at White Salmon, Washington, and we've kept in touch over the years. Soon arriving in Kingman, Arizona. Here we are, Golden Valley, Arizona. As we descend onto the valley, I realize I've driven through here before. Probably more than once. I would have never imagined someday I might be considering buying land here. I can already see some land for sale here on the right. We're gonna be mooch ducking with John and Mary tonight.
Document. Oh, let me get my camera up the roof.
All right.
They are giving us a tour of the area. It is always better when you know someone. You can get their opinions, their insights, and what I gather, once again, once you get off the main areas that have been somewhat developed, the roads get really bad. I'm sorry if I didn't do a really good job documenting all this. I was more engaged in conversation than filming, but once we narrowed it down, we decided to venture on our own, take a closer look. And this one right here on the right is one of the final contenders.
This one is definitely a contender. It's just over 1 acre, but not bad. Gotta be careful with all these cholla cacti. Lots of cholla, but I like it because it feels like the desert.
This one here on the right is already developed, so let's keep on looking. And something very attractive about this area right around here is that there is city water, which is super important here in Arizona. Many people have to have water delivered, and a well here is prohibitively expensive. This one here looks good too. We might have to start making phone calls tomorrow morning. Here's another one. And besides the roads and water availability, something you don't have to think about in other areas is washes. Potential for flash floods, that sort of thing. 3 different 2.3 acre lots. So far, this is my favorite. It's huge. There's the water access on the ground. This is another one, 2 acres with nice mountain views. Lots of cholla cacti. I would actually love to get one with a Joshua tree. That would be super cool. You see how not all the roads are maintained equally? And unfortunately, some otherwise desirable lots are on roads like this. I think we're going to sleep on it and start making phone calls tomorrow.
This one is the 2.5 acres in Bowie. I think we even have a Joshua tree back there.
This was our favorite, but when we called the realtor, it was already under contract. We decided to explore one more area before making a decision, just so we didn't leave any stone unturned. We decided to drive half an hour south towards Yucca, another area people had recommended. It is called Stagecoach Trails. We drove around a little bit, but we couldn't find what we were looking for. And to be honest, we're tired of looking. So we decided to go back to Golden Valley and make an offer on that 1 acre corner lot. If all goes well, this will be Pelicamp West. Here it is from the air. As you can see, there's a wash that crosses diagonally and empties at the corner, which is an area I'd like to keep natural, and then do a driveway and 2 RV sites towards the middle of the property. Of course, by the time you watch this, we already closed on the property, and we're planning to go back this winter to develop it.
We are on the corner of Borough and Bouse, and this is the end of the wash that it's in the property. Let's walk around a little bit. I like, and at the same time dislike, the fact that there's a lot of cholla cacti, but you know, I like to have vegetation. I don't want some of the lots we've seen are completely bare. You know, they've been cleared. And this one actually looks very pretty. Not the best one I've seen, but the best one that is available, and at a good price in a good area. Let me just walk inside with you guys a little bit, because this is on the short list of possibilities for Pelicamp West. Yeah, many of these prickly plants that we have to be careful. There's that big wash on that side, and this side is lower too, but here in the middle we have the higher ground, and this is it. There's a little bit of soft sandy spots here and there, but this up here is definitely the high ground. Yeah, there's a big hole down there. But as you can see, mountains all around us. Golden Valley, it is called. The only thing that another property I saw had that this one doesn't is a Joshua tree. But other than that, we might be able to plant one of those. We got a lot of cholla and have some nopal somewhere around there. And I don't know the names of all these cacti, but by the time we have Pelicamp West, I will. Yeah, I like it. There's an unsightly building there, looks kind of abandoned. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully someone buys it and makes it look pretty. But yeah, this is more or less the halfway point in the property here. We need to get it surveyed and whatnot. But what do you guys think?
Here's a crude, not to scale diagram of what I have in mind. Just two pull-through campsites, both facing a central common area. Let's hope it works out, and the dream of Pelicamp West becomes a reality. Of course, I want to thank John and Mary, now our neighbors, for their hospitality and help finding this land. Yes, we decided to pass by one more time with trailer in tow. This is so exciting. This may have not been what I originally had in mind, a larger, more remote property, but sometimes you have to adapt to the circumstances and be flexible. And this is going to be great. Now off to Las Vegas we go. By the way, as far as Golden Valley as a location, we're half an hour from Laughlin, Nevada on the Colorado River. Oatman, less than an hour. Lake Havasu, a little over an hour away. Las Vegas, 90 minutes. Quartzsite, 2.5 hours. Less than 3 hours to the south rim of the Grand Canyon. 10 minutes from Kingman, a relatively large town with everything, and right on Route 66. We are at the junction of I-40 and US 93. Not bad, huh? Alright, on the next one we'll visit Las Vegas and its latest attraction, the Sphere. Then we're off to Area 51. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and see you on the road.
Riding in my